Hey guys, welcome back to Carsoni Means. Today we're going to keep on doing our NFL videos. We are doing a NFL teams tier list. Just a little disclaimer here. Again, this was made before they changed the logo. Don't get mad if they've already changed it and this offends you. I'm sorry. Hopefully I don't stumble through my words like I did for my Washington prediction video. It's 8:30. I've recorded 3 videos before this. But let's get into it. It's worth it because I'm at the beach and I don't have to worry about this channel. So we got Super Bowl contenders. These are teams that nobody would be surprised if they make the Super Bowl. Well, I wouldn't be. Okay, it's up to my opinion is the only one that matters. Who doesn't? Very good is like they're almost 100% going to make the playoffs, but it's unlikely that they'll make the Super Bowl. Like you can say like, oh, they're in division round of the playoffs. They're pretty good. Okay, I mean they're like the team that would win the wild card round and then possibly make it to the divisional playoffs or whatever. This is like pretty good. Above average is like you could see them in the playoffs, yes, but you could also see them they're like the teams that just missed the playoffs. Okay, they're either barely in the playoffs or very barely out of them, which is going to be cut down a lot as they added a playoff spot this year, which makes things interesting. Then we got average. These are teams that are like 8-8, 7-9. They're just your run of the mill. Oh, we didn't make the playoffs this year. Boo-hoo. Below average is like, we don't want to be rebuilding, please. They just need 1 or 2 pieces on their team, and then they'll be like above average. And then trash is like, I almost had it trash/rebuilding, but rebuilding teams can be average at times. So trash is just like, obviously something needs to happen. There's no possible way that you make the playoffs. I mean, you could see a below average team make the playoffs if like something like a few things like clink together and it all comes together and you just make the playoffs. But trash teams, there's no way. Okay. Starting off, we got the Titans. They are very good. They're probably going to make the playoffs, but again, I would be pretty surprised to see them make it to the Super Bowl. And again, I'm not going to use this for everything, but also it's because just because they beat the Patriots and the Ravens does not mean that they are as good as the Patriots or the Ravens. All right? In my opinion, the Ravens are better. In my opinion, the Patriots, they're better than the Patriots this year. Let's be honest, but still. Then we have the Dolphins. It's going to be weird because at the end of this year, I could see them at above average towards the very end. But overall this year, they're probably just going to be below average. They're coming out of a rebuild. I feel like next year they could be above average. They could be average to above average next year, 100%, because I feel like they're going to come out of this year looking like a good team. I feel like at the end of this year, they're going to look pretty good. Okay, but I think they're going to be something like 3-13, 4-12, and then they're going to get a really good draft pick, and that's going to propel them. All right, and then we've got the Browns, who are just always average. I mean, you've probably already forgotten about them, and they had all that hype, and now they're just pretty bad. And unless you're a Browns fan or an AFC North fan, you probably don't really give 2 craps about them. But I do, because I have a YouTube channel based on the NFL, and they are average. Don't worry. If you lost track of the Browns, here they are. They're average. They're not above average. They're not below average. They're just a run-of-the-mill team. Got the Jaguars, who are just trash. Okay, they're just trash. That's all I have to say. We got the Lions, who I'm conflicted. They could either be average or below average. I'm gonna say because I could see them possibly making the playoffs this year. I'm gonna put them in average. Just because they do have a formidable team. They did pretty garbage last year. But, again, that was because, Matt Stafford did get injured. But they can win games, okay? And then the Vikings. This is another team that is very good. Again, they're probably going to make the playoffs. I'd be surprised if they didn't, all right? But I would also be surprised if they make the Super Bowl. Again, not as surprised if I saw any team below them. But still, I mean, they do. I mean, the loss of Stephon Diggs did hurt them, but it didn't completely throttle them to the ground. All right, then we got the Buccaneers. Brand new up. Last year, if they had Jameis Winston, they'd probably be down here. But right now, I put them in very good. They just completely revamped their team. They have changed everything. But again, I have a whole video on this. The same thing happened with the Browns. Okay? If you want me going more in depth with that, I have a full 10-minute video of me sitting down and talking about all my reasons. Go check that out. And then we got the 49ers. They're Super Bowl contenders by far. I know that they're probably on the lower, they're probably somewhere they're realistically on this little line here. But they are definitely Super Bowl contenders. Let's be honest. They're going to take a step down this year, okay? They're not going to go 8-0 again. Well, let's be honest. If at the end of this year they were the team that was in the Super Bowl for the NFC, would you be surprised? Okay? Just ask yourself that. All right, and then we've got, and of course that's not all I'm basing it on. All right, I'm just kind of using that to kind of prove my point. All right, so the Falcons are below average. Again, they're not trash. If a few things work, I mean, they've got Matt Ryan is an okay quarterback. Again, he threw for 4,000 yards last year. But the rest of it, he doesn't really have too many weapons, which speaks to the levels of how well Matt Ryan is still playing after all these years. And then, of course, I mean, we don't even really have to talk about them. I mean, the Ravens are just amazing. You can't find fault in this team. And then we got the Bears, who are just trash. Might be the worst team in the league. I just noticed there's nobody in above average. That'll change. But they're just, if I'm being honest, they're just trash, okay? I mean, they got 2 seconds. They're right around where the Dolphins were last year. They've got 2 backup quarterbacks battling out for the starting job, and the rest of the team isn't really helping them out. Then we've got the Bengals, who, I don't put them in the below average for now. I think that they could be all the way up maybe to above average, but I feel like with a rookie quarterback coming in this year, they do have the makings to where I could possibly see them making the playoffs, but I think it is a long shot. And then you have the Cowboys, who can be my first above average team, and they're working their way down the ranks. A few years back, they would be Super Bowl contenders, but right now they're above average. I mean, they've got, this is the one thing I'll give them. They have the best wide receiver unit in the league. All right, number one. I say that every time I talk about the Cowboys. They have the number one wide receiver unit, in my opinion. And right after that, we've got another above average team. This is they would be very good if it wasn't for the fact that they were stupid and they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. What is wrong with you people? Why aren't you going to what? Then we've got the Colts, who are just average, okay? They could definitely bump it up to possibly even very good if Phillip Rivers does, explode onto the scene and plays as well as Andrew Luck was a few years back. But they're going to be definitely fighting for a playoff spot this year. They're not going to be making it easy, especially with a tough division. I mean, you already see, or I've got their, I've already got their whole division on here, and look, it's a tough one, except for the Jaguars. Then you got the Rams, another above average. I told you above average would change. They're about to be the number one section. But, I mean, this is a team that I could see possibly making, this is going to be something kind of out of character, but I could see them making a Super Bowl run. What the heck? Did I click on something? I clicked on an ad. And the sad thing is I'm not going to cut it out of the video. But I could see them. I feel like Jared Goff is definitely going to take a step up this year. I clicked on Academy Sports. I feel like he's definitely going to take a step up this year. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if he's going to take enough. Okay, if he does, he's going to bounce back, but he's not going to bounce far back enough. Can you tell I'm tired? They've got to get. I mean, especially with Darrell Henderson, he looks good when he plays, and he's going to have a lot of play time. I can tell you that. What the heck? Anyways, so the Chargers are just average, okay, at this point. No, this is with Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert. This is all that thrown into one big thing. They're just, I mean, they're going to win some, they're going to lose some. I mean, you can't really see them being really good, but also be surprised if they were really bad. They're just that kind of team. And then the Chiefs, of course, Super Bowl contenders. They won the Super Bowl last year. Of course, they're going to be up here. The Saints, another Super Bowl contender. You've got Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Drew Brees on one team. Good things are bound to happen. And then we have the Giants, who are just below average. they're coming out of a rebuild. They were trash a few years back, and now they've redeemed themselves, and they are working on becoming back to making the playoffs. It's been a while since the Giants have made the playoffs. And then we've got the Eagles, who are just kind of average. They're not very good. They're not very bad. They're working their way. I feel like they have to do something now, or else they are going to end up down here somewhere. They have to make some changes here. Possibly even drafting they already did draft a quarterback. I mean, doing something. Anything. Now, this is a very unpopular opinion, but I'm putting the Steelers at below average. Ooh, how could you? How dare you? You disgusting little boy. Yes, I'm so sorry, but it had to happen. I feel like the Steelers, Big Ben's a broken old man, and you expect him to... What the heck? Did I click on it again? What is wrong with me? I need to have like an ad block or something. Anyways, so I forgot what I was saying. Let's go ahead and go over to the Broncos, who are going to be another below average team here. Below average has officially taken over this game. If you're below, I mean, if Drew Lock takes off, and I mean freaking flies, like he takes off, then this team could definitely be above average to very good. But right now, I just don't think that's going to happen. And he didn't impress me last year with the 5 games that he played. And yes, they went 4-1, but they weren't playing very good teams. Then against the Packers, I'm going to put them at very good. They're very close to being. Again, they're kind of right along where the 49ers were. I just think the 49ers are a little better. Aaron Rodgers has still got it after all these years. Is still chugging along. And then we've got the Panthers, who, in my opinion, are just another average team. Teddy Bridgewater on there is going to help them out. They're not going to be relying on second stringers or whatever. Which right now their backup is Will Grier, which is pretty scary. Because you saw Will Grier, he played like a full half of their last game, and he had a 0 quarterback rating. I'm talking he played 2 full quarters, and he got a lot of play time. And he had a 0 quarterback rating. So, I mean, if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't work out, I don't know where this team's going to go. But right now, I don't think they could be very good, and I don't think they could be very bad. So, in the middle is ready to go. And now we've got the Raiders, who, in my opinion, are just slightly above average. They're going to be fighting for a playoff spot in the year. They're good enough to where they could make the playoffs. They might go one and done, but they could definitely make the playoffs, and that's what I'm giving them. Washington is just average. If Dwayne Haskins is working his way up to being a pretty good quarterback, but right now he's not very, very, very good, and average is where he goes. And then the Cardinals, I'm gonna put them in above average. They're gonna be in the mix. They're gonna if you don't believe in the Cardinals, you're gonna be surprised at the end of the season whenever they are probably in the playoffs. I mean, Kyler Murray's on there. They got Kenyon Drake. This is a solid team. All right. And we've got the Bills, who are my number 1 team. You do not tell me that the Bills are not Super Bowl contenders. They are absolutely amazing. I made their predictions videos today, and I cannot find a fault on their team. They are absolutely amazing. They're better than all of these teams, okay? Now, I'm not saying if they played them directly that they would win against all of them. I'm just saying it's very close. All right. And now we've got the Seahawks, who are very good. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. They're kind of along where the Packers were. They're kind of in the middle. They're from very good to Super Bowl contender. The Seahawks still got it. Okay? They've still got the magic. I mean, Russell Wilson's on there. They got Chris Carson on there. They got Bobby Wagner on there, who was my number 1 linebacker. They're a very, very, very good team. Very hard to beat this year. All right, and then we got the Jets, who are my 3rd trash team. Their offense is not there. It's just not there. If you see any offense on the Jets, it's not there. I mean, look. It's just, they're going to be leaning. I've said this everything about the Jets. They're just going to be leaning completely on Le'Veon Bell. They're just, completely leaning. And then Le'Veon Bell is going to have nothing to lean on himself because he is not very good. And then Patriots are simply above average, okay? Cam Newton, if Cam Newton goes back to Super Cam, which he could, they could possibly make a Super Bowl run again. And seeing as I live in North Carolina and I'm kind of rooting for I've been rooting for Cam a bit. I want them to do good, but I don't want them to win a Super Bowl. I want Washington to. I'm a Washington fan. Yeah, thank you for watching this. Make your own one of these. Yeah, I might share the template or something. I don't know. I do have a Twitter. It's in my description. I've got an Instagram. It's in my description. I've started posting there a lot more frequently now. Especially, you might see a few more Instagram posts now. I'm going to the beach. You might see some pictures of the beach. Probably not, though, because might not even bring my phone out to the beach. I don't know why I do that. Alright. And I've got a Patreon. If you want even more content, you've got an Instagram, you've got a Twitter, and you've got a